Hello's YouTube. It's time for another installment of my highly popular videos. The good news is I got to go to the Red Wings game last night. The Red Wings versus Pittsburgh. And it was just a wonderful game. The only bad news out of the whole thing is when we parked and I got out of my car, I neglected to bring my phone because I love to make videos while I'm there, and so I didn't get a video at the game. I will tell you this: the Red Wings won the game. I got very drunk. I got pretty drunky, and I may have embarrassed my family on the way out of the place. I was taking some liberties with the Pittsburgh fans that were there. Going as far as screaming right in this guy's face, called him a motherfucker, told him that Evgeny Malkin was a retard, and it's impossible for Malkin to shut his mouth, I was having fun, but I think my kids especially were like, what the fuck is wrong with Dad, But I had a lot of fun. It was a long day today at work, and, I just don't drink very much at all anymore. I don't drink that much anymore. And, I had the pleasure of being hungover all day today at work. It kind of sucked. I haven't had a chance to watch Muskoka Man's video, Why I Am an Atheist. I really should go back and watch it, because I don't know if I've ever made a video like that. I don't know, maybe I have. I've made so many of these fucking things I can't remember now, what I've done and what I haven't. But I'm tempted to say because I was born that way, but that's ridiculous, as we all know. But I was at a very, very young age. I know that I've mentioned this before, but I just, I clearly remember being in church and, being at events where people are mumbling prayers. This was Catholic, I grew up a Catholic. Actually went to catechism. Got kicked, asked not to come back to catechism. Did my first communion and all that bullshit. But I clearly remember thinking to myself this whole time, these people have to be pretending, because everybody should know that this shit is not true. This is, when I was as young as 6, I remember thinking that. So I'm getting to the why I am an atheist part. My dad, I suspect, was an atheist. I don't know if he really was. He never came out and said he was. He may have had the attitude that he did just to spite my mother, because my mother was pretty religious. But we used to watch, we used to watch this guy, I can't remember his name. It was an English comedy show, and pretty much his whole shtick was making fun of the church. I remember that, and my dad, roared with laughter. And also, this was back in the day when people bought comedy albums, and I remember we bought a lot of Bill Cosby, records that you would play, and Yeah, it's kind of silly. I mean, once you listen to the record, you know, how many times are you going to listen to the same joke over and over? But we did. We listened to them over and over. And Bill Cosby, believe it or not, back in the day, I don't know if he still does this. I don't think he does. But at this time, he made fun of the church, and he made fun of the Bible, and he made fun of religious doctrine, you know? And I remember being very young, listening to a Bill Cosby album. And Bill Cosby compared creation, the biblical creation, to a magician pulling a rabbit out of a hat. And it was, you know, somewhat of an epiphany for me that here was an adult openly ridiculing these ideas. And not only was this adult openly ridiculing these ideas, but he was getting paid to do it, and people were laughing, you know. People were like, yeah, that's so funny, you know. And you know, a long story short, at that moment I knew it was okay to feel the way I felt. You know, later on I became very interested in natural history, and I started reading about it, and, you know, I read just about everything Stephen Jay Gould ever wrote, even though some of it's pretty hard to read for somebody that doesn't have a background in science. And, you know, that reinforced the way that I felt. And, of course, the behavior of Christians, not all Christians, but a great many of the Christians on YouTube, you know, that definitely reinforces, you know, so many things that they do reinforce the way that I feel. And I know that I'm right, because look at these fuckers, look at the way they're behaving. However, there are some Christians. I work with a guy that, you know, I get along with him more than I do anyone else at work. And he's pretty dyed-in-the-wool Catholic. But he's a very progressive Catholic. He wasn't when he first started there. He was pretty homophobic, but I think we're working on that. I think he may see the error of his ways. And there's also some people on YouTube that I really enjoy communicating with. And I know that they're not atheists. Yeah. And there's some atheists on YouTube that are just total fucking idiots. So it does go both ways. And I'm in a big fucking traffic jam. One of these traffic jams that irritate the fuck out of me, because it's here because everybody is exiting on the right. And if they would just get their fucking asses into that lane and stay there, everything would be alright. But no. They get in the middle lane, they get in the left lane, and then they stop traffic with their fucking signal on, trying to get over. So I think I'm going to sign out.